If you're a new player, you've definitely clicked on the right video. Today we're starting a game as Damali, but we're taking our time and going through our decisions step by step. You'll have an easier time learning the concepts and with any luck be able to apply them to your own games sooner than you'd think. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel. Alright, so first things first, we have to go over the features and abilities that Damali have. Of all the different civilizations you can choose in the game, the Damali have the most unique mechanics by far. So the first one here is international trade routes gain +1 gold for every flat desert tile in the origin city. They also receive 1 trade route capacity every time you enter a golden age. Alright, so what this means for us is that normally you try and avoid cities that have a lot of flat desert tiles, and it's still true with Damali, except for one. You want to basically pick one city that's going to be relatively shitty as far as production goes, but they're going to have ridiculous amounts of extra gold that it'll give you, and making that one city that's not so good will definitely pay off in the long run, as every single flat desert tile increases the amount of gold every single trade route that they send out gives you. Now, the increase in trade route capacity also is a really nice feature for them because their trade routes are so powerful. This is definitely a civ that you want to really push hard to go for golden ages, and ideally, in a perfect world, if you can, even get multiple golden ages back to back. And that's what we're going to try and do here in this video, is get off to a really good start with them and get into a golden age for the classical era. Alright, for their next feature here, they have city centers gain +1 faith and +1 food for every adjacent desert and desert hills tile. Mines receive -1 production and +4 gold. May purchase commercial hub district buildings with faith. -30% production towards constructing buildings or training units. Alright, so that's a lot to unpack, obviously. We'll tackle it one by one. The first one, city centers gain +1 faith and food for every adjacent desert and desert hill tile. We'll cover this one more when we get into the game and can actually see what we're talking about. But essentially, it's going to guarantee us basically, we're going to have our pick of whatever pantheon we want to choose to use in the game. Now, continuing on, the next one here, mines receive -1 production and +4 gold. That plays a huge impact on the game, and it is both a blessing and a curse. Now, this really starts you off slow because of the -30% production towards constructing buildings and training units that they already have to begin with. But once you get up a good supply of mines, your gold income from the mines just skyrockets, and what you're able to do with that gold completely offsets the production penalties. Once you can get into the mid game, it really ramps up quickly and becomes a lot of fun. So being able to purchase commercial hub district buildings with faith is going to be great, because as the Damali, almost all the time you're going to be chasing after a religion, just because you want to be able to generate as much faith as you can, since they're able to do so many different things with that faith. But again, we'll touch more on this once we actually get into the game here, because this is taking too long. So long story short, they have a shitty cavalry unit that's pretty much no good, and a Seguba, which is a unique district that is very good, but we'll get into it when we actually build one, if we're able to, during the first 50 turns here. Alright, so this is not too bad of a start. Taking a quick look for us here. Alright, so this definitely isn't a dream start for us, but we're going to do the best we can with it here. Alright, so what we're going to do is, first off, we're going to take a look around with our warrior here and move him first, just to see what's around us more, in case there's some luxuries that we could be taking advantage of. But I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm thinking here. We're going to take our settler, and we're going to be doing a settle on the next turn. We're actually going to come in and pop down our city right here. Now, the reason for this being, although we're moving away from the hill that we're on, the grassland hill over here, and the stone, it's going to be worth it for us because we're going to be increasing the amount of desert tiles that surround us. So if we move here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 different tiles. With that ability as the Damali, that's going to give us an extra 4 food per turn, and as well as 4 faith per turn by simply moving to this tile right here. Now, it does leave a little bit to be desired as far as production goes, as we're only going to have the forest to work with early on, but we'll be looking to get out builders in the near future to get some mines going and increase our production, as well as get the silver here online. So that's what we're going to do, is just head over this way. Hopefully we'll be able to find another location for our second city that's going to have a lot more production possibilities. This one will be all right in the long run. I mean, altogether, I think there's about 6 different hill tiles that it's going to unlock, with a couple of the forests there that we can build lumber mills on eventually. But just for the meantime, it's going to be a bit of a slow start, which is even worse for the Molly because they already have that minus 30% production penalty for building units and buildings. So we're going to go ahead and found our city here. We get an extra era score because we're settling on a river. Now, what we're going to be doing is starting off as a scout is going to be the first thing we're building. As you can see here, the 8 turns, that is brutal. It's just one of those things you have to get used to when you're playing with the Molly. And unfortunately, it's unavoidable that you're going to have excessively long production times because you have that production penalty until you can start really ramping up your gold in order to buy things and increase your production that way. It's just something you get used to. So we're starting with the scout because we obviously want to get out there as quickly as we can and meet other nations so that we can crash goodie huts and find world wonders, and in a perfect world even get into a golden age for the classical era. Now, as far as what we're going to research next, I am going to basically roll the dice a little bit. I almost always go straight into astrology because we want to get our holy site up as quickly as possible. When you're playing on DD difficulty, you have a very hard time getting your religion up if you don't beeline it straight away. But I'm going to try and get mining first before going into astrology. Now, the reason behind that being, as I said, we have very bad production in our capital so far, and so I want to try and minimize that as quickly as possible by increasing our gold income and ideally getting the silver up as well so that we can trade the silver to the first AI we meet and use that gold for even more and use that gold to offset our production penalty even more by hopefully buying us something useful, whether that's another settler or a builder or something of the like. Now, we're going to keep exploring with our warrior here. If you're a newer player, I would suggest you explore with your warrior, but I would suggest keeping it fairly close to your capital. I'm a little bit more confident, and so I will explore further. Just the only reason I'm saying that to be a bit cautious is because since the June patch, the barbarians are a lot more aggressive, it seems. And so if you don't think that you're comfortable handling that, I would definitely keep your warrior close to home so that you can spank the barbarians when they pop up. Not to mention... Oh. Well, this is a bit of frickin' overkill. You almost always love when you get a relic because you get 4 faith per turn. So like we got this relic now. It increases our faith by 4. But as the Molly, we don't really need that extra 4 faith per turn because we already have that inherent bonus for settling close to so many desert tiles. Like we were already getting plus 4 faith per turn. But that's fine. It's never a bad thing, don't get me wrong. It's just, if we would have got like a free builder or something, or a free scout, it would have probably served us better because of our production penalty. But that faith is okay too, because ideally we're going to go into a golden age in the classical era, and with that golden age we're going to pick monumentality, which allows us to buy builders and settlers with faith. So this relic is actually coming in handy. It's just going to come in handy once we get to the classical age. Well, as long as we get a golden age, I should say. Anyway, so we grab that there. It looks like there's a culture city-state right here, so we're going to head over that way. Now, with any luck, we'll get a first meet on them, and it'll allow us to get plus 2 culture per turn, and we did. You can see we got the meeting bonus there. So now, it's always great to meet culture city-states nice and early. As you can see, just by getting the 1 envoy there, you get plus 2 culture in your capital. So that actually more than doubled our culture per turn just by meeting this 1 city-state here. Not to mention this specific city-state, Mohendaro, or yeah, we're just going to go with Mohendaro. That's what I'm going to call them. I don't know what the correct term is. Comment down below and call me an idiot if you know. Anywho, their unique bonus when you get them as a suzerain is your cities have full housing from water as if they were next to a river. So as long as we can get a suzerainship with them here, we can settle anywhere we want. So as long as we can become suzerain of them really quickly, it gives us a lot more flexibility when we're settling cities, because we can end up settling a city on the coast and we can still get the full housing bonus as if we were settling next to a river. And for those of you who don't know, if you settle a city next to a river, you have access to fresh water, and it gives you a bigger housing cap than if you settle it with no water, and allows you to grow faster. So as we mentioned, we're already at a Pantheon on turn 7. So as we mentioned, with the +8 faith per turn, we're already at a Pantheon, and it's only turn 7, which basically means we're going to have our pick of the litter here. So let's open it up and see what we've got to work with. The only negative thing about getting the Pantheon this early is we haven't really had a chance to explore very much of our surrounding area. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, as we're gonna have to go on what little we've seen so far. Now, personally, I always go for Desert Folklore when I'm playing with the Mali. I honestly have never tried anything else with them, and I'm almost tempted to try something else this time, just because we have our whole pick of the litter. And a lot of things have changed since the patch in June, but I just think that in this case, we're going to go ahead and take it here. Now, I had been really thinking about it just to try something different, but also because we don't seem to have that big of a desert surrounding us here. But it's going to help out enough that with our first 2 or 3 cities that we'll get a lot of extra faith, and it will be worth it, I think. So we're going to go ahead and grab this up. And we get a little bit of extra era score here for being the first nation in the game to get our era score, to get our freaking Pantheon up and running. So we're already up to 5 out of 11 era scores. So that means obviously we got 6 more to go until we guarantee ourselves a normal age, but ideally we have 20 more era score to work towards. So we also got the boost towards mysticism here. We're gonna keep looking around with our warrior. Nice, we found 2 more goody hats. All right. I'm kind of tempted. Oh, yeah, I'll go this way. We'll go this way first and then circle back. All right, so we got +1 envoy. Now what I was about to say there, before I skip the turn, is that we're going to save this envoy. It doesn't make sense for us to waste it and sending it to any of the other city-states right now that we don't have envoys with. The only one that's important is getting that first envoy. So I'm really hoping that we bump into a military city-state and we don't have our first envoy with them, so that we can use this one and get the extra production. So it looks like we did bump into Bandar Bernai here, and we are the first meet on them as well, so we get an extra +4 gold. That's nice. Now we'll circle on back with our warrior here and head for that goody hut. Okay, so they came all the way to meet us, so we didn't really meet them, but whatever, we'll take it. Now, we've just finished our scout, which is great, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is build a second scout. Now, the only reason I'm doing this, I would honestly... I do it more and more nowadays, to be completely honest, because I think it is so important to get out there and explore, and the early game bonuses in the Ancient Era, for getting goody huts and stuff like that, that era score bonus disappears after your first era. So it's a nice thing to do if you are trying to go for that golden age. It makes things a lot easier. However, I think this is even more crucial as the Mali. Getting into that early golden age in the classical era is just crucial to get you rolling in the right direction, since you do have such a detriment to your production because of the way that the mechanics are set up with the civilization. So we're going to head out here to the east with the scout, and then when this next one pops out, we'll head down south towards that city-state there. We've finished mining, which is great. as well as finishing Code of Laws. Now, this is the one thing I love about the Mali and other civilizations like Indonesia that get that inherent faith bonus early on, is we don't have to waste our time picking God King here. We can go straight into urban planning to get the +1 production in all cities, which is nice. And now we're definitely going to go into survey first. I always myself pick survey, especially when I'm going double scout, because we want to get a promotion on them so they can explore even further faster. And then once you get them promoted quickly, then I switch into discipline when I start taking barbarian camps out. So we're going to go ahead and do that for now. But if you are a newer player, I'd suggest you just ignore that part of what I'm saying and specifically pick discipline all the time for your first military slot, because giving you that +5 combat strength to fighting barbarians really does make things a lot easier for you in the early game. So I would suggest doing that if you're not comfortable. Alright, sweet. So we found another goodie hut, as well as discovering a second continent. So we got the boost towards foreign trade, which is nice. We'll go ahead here and grab the goodie hut, and we got another envoy, which is sort of nice. So it's good in one way that we have 2 saved up, so we can get a suzerainship automatically of one of these. But again, I'm still reserving them for now, because if we meet a military city-state, I would like to get an envoy with them, because that production would really help out. So as far as quests go, they want us to train an archer, which is definitely a possibility, and recruit a great prophet, which is another possibility. So we might be able to luck out and actually become both of these, both city-states suzerain, essentially just by completing the quest for each of them, and then sending one of these 2 envoys that we got to each of them, which would put us at 3. So that would be an extra 4 era score if we can manage to do that. So we'll definitely keep that in mind as we go here. Now we finished mining, so now we're going straight towards astrology. I'm really hoping that having our extra scouts here, that we're able to get lucky and find. Sorry, I'm hoping with our extra getting a second scout here, I'm hoping that we're able to find a world wonder and shave some time off astrology. That would be perfect. Or a natural wonder, I guess it's called. Not, I always say world wonder. But so because of the mountain range that we found here, we're kind of fucked as far as exploring to the east. So rather than taking our scout and heading all the way back up this way and then coming up north and hopefully going towards the east, since we have that second one coming anyway, we're going to now send this scout down south and send this this scout here afterwards to the east, just because it'll save time and ideally allow us to explore more quickly. As far as what civic we're going to go towards, I think we've got both of these. Well, we don't have both of them at the moment, but I think it definitely makes sense for us to go towards foreign trade since we have that boosted. It means we're not wasting our civic production by going to full research craftsmanship the hard way. And ideally, I'm going to get a builder out here before we have to start work on our holy site, which will allow us to get some mines going and get the boost towards craftsmanship in a perfect world. Alright, so it looks like we found military tradition by going to that other goodie hut. We're up to 8 out of 11 era score now, so that's nice. And we've managed to find a 3rd city-state here, and it is a military one, which is great. Let's go ahead and see here. Fuck. See, now this is where I'm so tempted. I've been saving the envoys for this exact reason. But no, okay. I've been saving the envoys for this exact reason, in case we found a military city-state here and we didn't get the first meat on them, so we don't have an envoy. Because if we get one envoy there, we're going to get +2 production in the capital when producing units, which for us with our penalties is a huge difference. Now, even though I've been saving these envoys for this, even though I've been saving the envoys for this exact reason, I'm going to go against what I have been saving them for and change my plan. Because what we had just talked about there, if we can get the double suzerainship of these two city-states, that extra era score is going to be a big boost to helping us guarantee a golden age. And what really sealed the deal for me is, in order to get an envoy with Preslov, all we have to do is trigger the inspiration for craftsmanship, which we're planning to do anyway. So I will definitely be doing that now. Instead of going for a settler next, I think we're going to head straight into a builder after this. Now, a barb camp has spawned here. Unfortunately for us, it is not within 6 tiles. I don't think so anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, it is 7 tiles away. In case you don't know, you get 3 era score for clearing a barbarian camp if it's within 6 tiles of any one of your cities. Otherwise, you just get 2. So we would have gotten an extra era score there had it been just 1 tile closer. But unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So this is a little bit weird that I'm assuming there was a barbarian camp or something around here, and that's why both of these city-states are injured, because I don't think they go to war with each other as far as I know. But we're going to have to skip turn here because we can't get past them the way things were. Yeah, it looks like they must have been fighting with barbarians. So since we can't, we're going to have to wait until next turn anyways to cross the river. We might as well move 1 tile over it and see a little bit more, and then we'll head over next turn. Now, with our warrior here, instead of going ahead and attacking right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the Mohendero warriors to attack it first, and I'm just going to move over onto this hill here. Now, the reason behind this is because we didn't slot the discipline government call. Now, the reason for this is that we didn't slot in the discipline government policy, so we don't have that +5 combat bonus when attacking barbarians. So if we attack here, the Mohenderans are going to attack next, and then if we can't get that kill on our 3rd swing, then they'll go ahead and clear the camp, and we won't get any era score. So I'm going to let them take the first shot, and then with any luck, they'll take another shot, and then we can swing in for the kill. So we'll have to cross our fingers that it works out. Now, unfortunately for us, it looks like Preslov here wanted to be a dick and not move their warrior, so we can't get across the river very easily, but we're just going to go ahead. We'll keep forging forward and go that way. So again, we're going to skip our turn here with that warrior. Alright, so now, with any luck, we'll be able to kill them here. And if not, we're just kind of fucked. I think we might just miss out on the barb camp, unfortunately. And yeah, we did. So realistically, I don't think there was any way to avoid that without us having that combat bonus in. Just with their 2nd warrior showing up, there's nothing that could be done, because if we wait, they would have just attacked it twice and been able to take it out. It's kind of frustrating on one end, but it is what it is. It looks like we found another goody hut there, so we'll definitely head there, and well, so much for that. So we've met the Nubians here. Now, I'm personally going to exchange information on our capitals. I want to know where they are, and I'm also going to be trying to keep good relations up with them, because we have such a big penalty towards our production that as the Mali, it's very difficult to go into an early game war, so we want to stay on their good side. Now, if you're a newer player, sometimes I'd suggest you not exchanging information on capitals with them, and that way they're less likely to be able to show up on your doorstep and attack you early on in the game. But I'm pretty confident that I can stay on her good side, and if not, I can at least be ready for it if she decides to attack us. We are quite far from our capital, so I don't think we really have anything to worry about, and we'll go ahead and exchange. So it was nice that we got the 1 era score from meeting her, I guess, even though we didn't get to find out what was in that goody hut, but it is what it is, right? Alright, so now unfortunately, we haven't been lucky finding a natural wonder. Hopefully that can change here in the next turn or two. We finished our second slinger, or sorry, our second scout here. So I'm going to go ahead and start on a builder. It was a tough toss-up between a builder and a settler, but I think the builder will help us. We'll get 3 tiles online real quick, which will give us the boost to the craftsmanship, which getting that boost will allow us to get the envoy in that military city-state, and that will help us out with production in the future. And then with any luck, once we get the silver online, we'll be able to trade the silver to the Nubians and get some cash, enough cash in a perfect world that we can actually buy a settler and then kind of have the best of both worlds. So that's the reason I made that decision. Now we're just going to heal up with our, actually fuck it, we're just going to keep exploring with our warrior here. I'm not too worried about it. There are barbarian scouts that are going to attack into us, but that's the worst that could happen. Now we went ahead and got that. I'm just wondering if it's almost time for us to switch policies, but I think because we are getting that extra culture from having Mohendaro, from having the envoy to Mohendaro there, that I'm going to go ahead and leave leave survey in for one more time before I change it out. And that way, hopefully we can get the promotion on our scouts, because so far we've been shit out of luck in that regard. Now it's nice that we have nice flat land over here. We can explore a little bit further.
Behold the wonders.
Fuck yeah, right on. There we go.
The clear aqua blue serves as a looking glass.
It's actually a pretty wonder.
Turquoise crows.
The art designers of the game did a nice job there. Okay, so we got the boost towards astrology, which is freaking awesome. Just what we needed. What does this tile do? So it's a 2-tile wonder that can be found on coastal terrain and provides +3 food, +1 production, and +1 culture, and +15 combat strength when defending in this tile. Huh. Well, that is interesting. So it would be nice if we could get a city down there at some point. I mean, there's obviously no rush by any means. Not to mention that the Nubians are around here, so I'm assuming that they're going to be settling it before we have a chance to. Alright, so that is awesome though. It gave us some more era score. Obviously the Nubians discovered it first though, so it didn't give us the most era score. I think it would only give us 1, yeah. But either way, we're up to 10 out of the 25 that we're searching for, so we're going to continue on here. Now, we're going to go ahead and start researching craftsmanship. But we're only going to put a certain amount of production into it before we switch out of it, because we don't want to waste our culture, seeing as how we will be having that builder up and running before we know it. And then, oh, well, it looks like we're not exploring to the east after all. I guess the mountain ranges is a little bit more, extends a little bit further than I thought here. So that's a bit frustrating for us, but it is what it is. So we'll have to skirt around it. In the meantime, we'll just keep going with our warrior here. Might as well take a shot and get some more experience for them. Okay, so one thing I definitely forgot about here is I'm doing a tutorial. I'm embarrassed that I'm doing a tutorial for beginners and I forgot to do this, but I have not sent her a delegation. You always want to send a delegation to the enemy AI the first turn you meet them. Otherwise, it leaves a bad impression on your relationship and they're more inclined to attack you. So as you're going to see here, we're not going to be able to send them the delegation. They'll decline it, and it takes you a good while to get over that hump in the relationship. So if you're looking to stay peaceful, you should always be sending them a delegation the first turn you meet them if you can afford it. So we'll have to definitely keep that in mind if we end up meeting anybody else. Alright, so let's continue. Well, I guess before we continue moving along here with our scout, we'll move one turn and then take the promotion here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Alpine promotion. Just 9 times out of 10, unless there's relatively no hills, I always take the Alpine promotion because I try to avoid I try to avoid the jungle terrain as much as I can. So now here with our warrior, let's try and finish off the scout. So we got some more experience there, plus that hitting that scout is actually gets us one step closer towards the bonus for bronze working, which you need to kill 3 barbarians in order to get the tech boost to that. So we're on our way. Let's just keep going with the scout here and see what we can see. Now in the meantime, with our warrior, we'll get them to move one tile and then heal up. Nice. So we got a mega colossal eruption, but it doesn't bother us at all. We've unlocked astrology. Now unfortunately for us, it's not going to completely work out because we still have to finish, well, we don't have to, but I'm going to finish building this builder. But now with that being said, we're going to take a time out and we're going to place our holy site down. Now the reason we're doing this, even though we are going to finish building this builder, it ends up locking the production cost of your district in. So if we look right now, you can see that it costs 54 production, and we'll plop it down here, and now it's locked in at that price, even though we're going to go back to working on our builder. Whenever we get around to making the holy site, it will always be 54 production to build it. So as far as what we're going towards next, we're going to head towards animal husbandry because we want to get closer to archery as soon as we can for A, defense, because it's always nice to be able to make archers fairly quickly, and B, also so that we can get that boost, so that we can get that envoy from the city-state for getting an archer. Alright, so it looks like we found a goodie hut here. Let's cross our fingers and hope it's a decent one. Okay, so we got bronze working, which, I mean, and found a barbarian camp, so that's something, I guess. But alright, so seeing as how there is a barbarian camp there, we're just gonna get the hell out of here, and hopefully they don't spawn any warriors or anything to come after us. I don't think there's any horses around there, is there? Not that we know about, so fingers crossed there aren't any in the fog there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cross the river here. Well, we were going to. Now it looks like we're going to have to wait, so we'll head down this way. Okay, so we're going to try and skirt this barbarian camp here. We don't want to get too close. Well, there's a Nubian scout, so hopefully they can get attacked and not us. So let's head up. I want to kind of circle around the camp and come up this way if we can. We still have a lot more air score that we need, specifically 14 more to go. Now, before I forget, we're going to switch out of craftsmanship here, and we're going to start working on early empire. This is just because we're gonna be getting this boost anyways once we get that builder up online and get those tiles researched. So if we were to continue researching it, there's no point. We'd just be throwing away culture essentially. So that's why we're going ahead and switching that now, because this will finish up on its own once we improve 3 tiles with the builder. Alright, so our scout finally can cross the river. Nice, so we met Poland. Sure, it's an honor to meet you. We'd love to sample your hospitality. So now, like I said, remember, we met her for the first time. We're definitely going to send her a delegation. So now, because it's the first turn, they've received our delegation, they don't reject it, and they're not going to be completely pissy towards us, or at least have less chance of being completely pissy towards us. Now, they do have some money, which is good, because once we get the silver up online here in the near future, we'll be able to get some cash from them with any luck. Now, again, we're going to skirt the barbarian camp there. Now, I want to try and get past Poland if I can. Oh, fuck, there's a lake there, too. What I was trying to say is we're going to try and get past Poland if I can, because we don't want to get stuck there when they lock their borders. So it would be nice if we could get through Preslav as well. So we're going to head down to the south here. Now we've finished the worker, so we're going to get started on that holy site right away and get our builder to head straight down to get that silver online next turn. Now, I think we should be okay to move one tile in here and then scoot upwards. Looks like the warriors from the... I guess I spoke too soon. Okay, so we got animal husbandry there. Let's take a look and see. Alright, so it doesn't look like there's any horses too close to us. Well, we have that one there. As far as where we're going to want to build a city, though, I'm going to take a minute and try and get things figured out here. Alright, so I did some looking around, and I've gotten 2 potential sites down here. We have one here. If you turn the settler lens on, you can either do it manually through here or just press 4 on your keyboard, but it shows you which sites are best to settle on. Now, as you can see, we have access to fresh water here, plus it will give us some good locations because we have the deserts all around us, so we'll be able to find a nice spot for our holy site. Plus, with the mountain range here, I'm sure there's some nice possibilities. Not to mention, we have 2 geothermal fissures down here, which they provide plus 2 adjacency bonus each of them for campuses. So if we were to build a campus right here, it looks like that would be a pretty decent one, which could also give us era score, I might add, because if you build a specialty district that has if you build a campus that has +3 adjacency bonus, you get 3 era score. The same thing with the holy site, it's +3 and above gives you +3 era score. And then commercial hubs, or in our case Sagubas, that's our version of the commercial hub, you need to have +4 adjacency naturally in order to get that era score bonus. But that's definitely something to keep in mind here. And then the other slot I had pegged was over here. Now this would essentially for one, it gets us some horses online pretty quickly, and it manages to get another silver. But if we look here in the strategic view, so you can see the tiles surrounding it better, there's quite a few different hills, so there's some good production, and there's also a bunch of the desert tiles, which would mean this could be our shitty city that gets us a bunch of trade routes to send it from. And so I think that's what we're going to go next. But because this site over here gives us the potential of getting that campus up online, if we can get that before the next era, that will definitely help us get that golden age. So I think this is going to be our second city. So speaking of that second city, let's get this mine up and running and get our silver online. And now we're going to go ahead and talk to Jadwiga here, because we're more likely to get a good deal from her because we have better relations with her. So she doesn't have the silver either, so that's good. Let's take a look here, and apparently she won't even give us 100 gold for it. So she does want it, but not very much at all. So let's try the Nubians and see if they're looking for it more. Unfortunately, they only have 128 gold now. And they won't even give us that entire 128. They would do 100, so 120. Alright, so 122 is their max. We're gonna have to think about this for a second. So 122, yeah, that's just enough. It's not a whole lot, obviously, but we need 320 in order to buy a settler, so we're definitely going to go ahead and take her up on that offer now. So here's that for 122. Okay, so we'll accept the deal. How gracious of us. Of course, you're right. And now, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and buy our first settler here in Miami for 320 gold. Now, as far as what tech goes, we're going to start going towards archery here, because we want to get that bonus for Bandar Bernai there and get an archer online. So now the settler, we're going to send them over to our site there as soon as we can. Now, we can move over this way, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Hopefully, when the warriors move up, that the warriors will engage them here. Now, like we already talked about, we're going to try and get through Preslav's territory before they lock their borders on us. Now, unfortunately, they decided to be dicks and attack us. Now, I'm going to back up, but I want to stay close because if we can manage, if we can manage to just sit back and let the Bander Brunei warriors deal with this barbarian camp and then snipe it on them, it would be a little bit of extra air score for us. So we're going to try to do it that way if we can. We have to wait here with this scout, but it looks like we should be lucky enough to pass Preslov's territory there, and with any luck even get further and go past Poland. But ideally, even with Poland, I guess we could open borders with them pretty soon anywho. So our warrior is back to full health now, which is nice. However, he's never going to make it over there to that barbarian camp in time, so we're just going to head to the west here and see if he can discover anything else for us. Now, we do have 50 gold here, so let's take a quick look and see how much it's going to run us to buy this tile. And unfortunately, it's going to be $80 to get that silver online, and we're not even expanding to it next. We're expanding to this forest, which is a little bit of a letdown, but oh well. So we're gonna head over here. Sorry, we're gonna head over here and build a mine next. We want to get 3 different tiles improved in order to get the bonus and for craftsmanship and get that and get that envoy unlocked with the militaristic city-state. So let's just get the warrior to keep heading to the west like we already talked about. Now, the scout can head through here. And okay, so we have officially made it through Preslov. I think that's the Nubians here still, I'm pretty sure. But ideally, we can meet another civilization or two before the era ends. Speaking of which, how much time do we have left? Shit, so 12 to 32 turns is not a whole lot of time left for us to get this going, unfortunately. Now, we're going to get 3 air score here. You know what? How long is it going to take us to... Oh, yeah, would never get to writing on time. Would we? No. Yeah, so... Unfortunately, it's looking like we might not be able to secure this golden age. We're going to have to really work at it here. Time will tell. It's going to come down right down to the wire if we are going to get it, that's for sure. We'll go ahead and build that mine there, and then we'll head over to that hill to get a 3rd mine up, which will give us the craftsmanship. So somebody finished a great bath. That's not exactly a surprise. Jesus. This is not some nice terrain for us to explore, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the scout on automated exploration. I'm assuming she won't take a delegation still. No, she's still gonna be a hussy. Now, let's take a look here. I want to see, hold on, how much gold does she have? Make deal. Okay, so she barely has any gold. What about Jadwiga? 389. Alright, hold on. Let's take a look here. How much is it gonna run us to buy another settler? 440 for another settler. Okay, so we need 314, I think. 314. All right, let's see if Jadwiga here will buy our relic. Oh, baby. She will. Will you give us diamonds? No. Okay, so she'll buy it for 389. What about gold per and 10 gold per turn? 20? 20. Holy Christ. All right. Christ on a cross. We got Splinter of the True Cross here. Well, there you go. We are definitely going to do this now. So we're going to be able to buy ourselves another settler immediately, plus ramp up our gold by 29 gold per turn. That is absolutely sick. So we'll go ahead and do that now, which means we're buying ourselves another settler immediately. So now that we're doing that, Fuck's sakes. I got all excited for a second because I was going to go and send this settler down here to build next to the World Wonder or the Natural Wonder and get +3 era score that way. Unfortunately, it looks like we're shit out of luck. So that was less to get excited about than I thought. I mean, the +29 gold per turn is nice, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Okay, so that is, like I said, a lot less of a big impact. It still helps us out, don't get me wrong. I just was excited because I thought we were going to get closer to our getting a golden age there, but I think we're pretty much just shit out of luck this time, and I don't think we're going to be getting it. Okay, so now as far as what we're going to be getting started on here. Okay, so it looks like there's another mountain over there. So now I'm pretty sure this will be like, what would it be? If it's here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we get +5 adjacency from the mountains, and then it would be, what, +6 more adjacency? So I'm pretty sure if we buy this tile, it'll be a +11 holy site. What? Only a +6? How is it only a +6? I guess mountains don't count as desert, even though they're desert underneath it? Right? Like, does that make... That's weird. I always thought it was the other way around here, because, like, we're getting +6, so it says +5 from the adjacent mountain tiles, and +1 from the adjacent desert tile. So that is actually pretty shitty here, where even though this is a mountain on a desert, it still doesn't count for the desert adjacency. Yeah, I guess you learn something new every day, because fuck, I sure thought that was going to be a nice holy site, but now, I mean, it doesn't even really... Maybe because they're not discovered yet? I don't know. Let's buy the tile. No, it's still the same thing. So now we know that you do not get the bonuses for our Pantheon. Having a +1 faith for desert tiles do not count if there's mountains beside it, even if there's this desert under them. So now with that being said, let's not waste good production here on and get rid of a hill for no reason when we can get a +6-1 from right here. So we'll go ahead and get that holy site started. Okay, so we'll just keep exploring over here with our warrior. We'll get our third improvement with the builder. So we boosted craftsmanship and we finished it. Let's take a look and change our policies. Let's get out of survey and we'll get into a Gouge. This will help us produce some slingers. We'll go ahead and confirm the policy. Now, so that does give us the Envoy and Presloff, which is nice. So we need to get a great profit to get Bander Brunois, or an archer here in order to get Mohendaros. So those would give us +4 era score, so that would be 18. So we'd still be short 7 era score. We're gonna get 3 for this holy site, so that would be 4 more that we need to find somewhere between now and yeah, like I said, this is going to be cutting it a bit close here. We're going to hopefully scrape by and get this era score, but it is not going to be easy, it's looking like. Now, okay, so I was just going to say we'll head down here, but unfortunately it looks like that's the end of the continent, so we might head up north. Now, the only reason I am going to pop right here is it looks like this warrior's been getting attacked by the barbarians, but I want to see if there's a barbarian camp here and we might be able to scoot in and steal it, but otherwise, yeah, there's not. It looks like they just cleared a camp and now paid the iron price for it. So we'll just get the hell out of the way and head up north with our warrior. This slinger here or the slinger, the scout can go on automate exploration, and of course he heads up to the coast so that it'll be an easy target for the ship that's up there. But we got the +3 air score now for getting that nice holy site unlock. We're gonna go ahead and start on holy site prayers right away. Now the reason I'm starting on this instead of our shrine is because of our ridiculous production penalty. It makes more sense in order to get to not have a 30% production penalty, because we don't have good production to begin with. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now it looks like we lucked out here and almost got our settlers sniped by barbarians, but I'm wondering where they're coming from. Oh, I guess there's a camp up there. Nice. So actually, if we go ahead and settle this city now. Nice. So we got early empire, which is great. Okay, now I'm just wondering. Now we are within 6 tiles, so if we clear that, we'll get 3 air score there. So we're definitely going to want to do that as quickly as we can here. So we'll send the warrior back that way, but they're going to be building the holy site prayers, and yeah. So what we'll do is we'll just go here and we'll buy a slinger. Yeah, we'll buy a slinger. Now we're going to go ahead and change our policy. Since we're not going to be producing them, we're going to get out of that and we're going to put discipline in the policy slot here. So we'll have that +5 combat. That +5 combat strength against the barbarians here. And since we have such high income, we'll go ahead and buy another slinger here shortly. In the meantime, though, we can go ahead and place down our holy site here as well. Which we'll just do right here. It's kind of a shame to be taking... Actually, you know what? I'll take a +5 holy site and not take over one of our hills. And so we'll go ahead and place it there. So I'm just basically prioritizing. The reason I chose to put it there is because like desert flatland tiles are useless, so I might as well cover it up with the district there instead of putting one here. Even though we'd get the extra +1 faith per turn, we'd be losing the ability to build a mine on that desert hill. So that's why I went ahead and did that. Alright, so let's take a look here at the Civic Tree. So now we're just going to head towards political philosophy as quickly as we can. Now, we have unlocked a governor there, so I think what we're going to do is... We don't really have much of anything to chop, and we don't want to be chopping stuff very much since we... The production we do have is very limited. We're going to want to build lumber mills on these forests and stuff like that. So as far as who we're going to take for a governor, I think it just makes sense that we go towards Amani for this time. Now, somebody actually recently told me about this. I never use Amani first, like ever. This will be the first time that I'm going to. Now, the reason I'm picking her is for that era score, because she gives us +2 envoys wherever she goes. So we're going to go ahead and go with governors here, and we're going to appoint her in Pruslov, and so in 5 turns we'll become the suzerain of them. Now, if we can go ahead and, in a perfect world, if we can kill a unit with our slinger here, that'll be even nicer. I'm going to go ahead and move... Oh, I'll have to cross the river. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and move them out because... Oh, I guess we're one... I was just going to say, I guess we're one turn away from buying them another slinger here, but we're going to go ahead and do that now. So we'll go ahead and attack the warrior.
May the forces of evil become confused while your arrow isn't.
Now, we've gotten that archery tech, so let's go ahead and we're just going to attack... Hold on. We're going to attack the warrior with the full health one. And now we should be able to finish it off with the slinger. And gives them a promotion there for next. So now Let's take a quick look and see the great profits here. So has anybody recruited one already? Okay, so one prophet has been recruited, which means there's 3 left for us to grab. Somebody, Poland, oh yeah, somebody, jeez. So Poland here has a good head start on us, which is fine. And nobody else seems to be making great profit points yet. So we look to be in good shape. We don't have to be the first or second to get a profit as long as we can get a profit. However, that means that unfortunately we're not going to become, I'm just thinking about it now, that means we're not going to become the suzerain of Bernai here soon enough, which is a little bit of a letdown, but okay, it is what it is. Now, we have researched archery, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade one of these slingers next turn, which will allow us to become suzerain of Mohendaro here. Now, as far as where we're going in the tech tree next, we want to head towards currency to get our Seguba online as quickly as possible, not to mention the campus, so that we can increase our science relatively soon as well. Now, we have 6 turns and we have 7 era score to get. Now, we'll have 4 of it's already locked in, but I think we're just going to be short. Actually, wait, we won't be short. If we can kill this fucking barbarian camp, that will be the exact amount we need. 4 from the 2 suzerain ships and then 3 from the barbarian camp. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That definitely gives us our game plan. We're going to go ahead and cross over here, and then we'll upgrade the archer, which gives us the extra the extra envoy in Mohendaro. So we'll go ahead and send this now. We'll become their first suzerain. So there's 2 air score. Then when Amane is established in 2 turns, we'll get another 2 air score in Preslov, which will bump us up to 22. And as long as we can kill this barbarian camp here, we are good to go. So with that being said, I think we'll move up and we'll take a promotion. And then next turn we'll move over the river. And then we'll upgrade them to an archer before we leave our territory there. Now, I want to head this way. Okay, so cool. We got suzerainship there. Now, I was just about to say that I want to head this way to head off. I don't want the frickin' Mohendaros to frickin' snipe us, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to control that. Now, I'm willing to sacrifice our archer here. We're going to move there, and we'll be able to survive the attack from the spearmans and conquer the thing. And it's within 6 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should have our golden age. Now, we finished Holy Site prayers here. We're going to start that immediately again. We also want to put them on a production focus, so it takes us 5 turns and not 7. So now this slinger here will upgrade to an archer. That's fine. They ended up retreated back into their barbarian camp. We should still be able to clear them out in time. They want to buy some of our diplomatic favor from us, and we're gonna just, refuse this. So in case you don't know, enemy AIs will pay through the roof for your diplomatic favor. As you can see, they want it here, but they're offering me shitty deals. So we're gonna refuse their shitty deals, and then when it's our turn. Okay, so we got 2 turns to take this frickin' camp. Yeah, but what I was saying, or in the middle of saying, is they overvalue diplomatic favor. So now we're going to come here and let's see, we want their 78 gold. Oh, maybe it's been patched. It must have been patched, because I mean, I was trading like 7, 8, 9 diplomatic favor for like a couple hundred gold easily, unless that's just maybe it's too early for them to be pricing that high. Maybe as the ages go on, maybe as the ages go on, they value it more, because I was at least in the classical or medieval eras when I was doing that. So Not a demand, I want to make a deal. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, see. Okay, so that must be the case then. I think this is still a better deal than she was offering us before. So we'll do the open borders thing, and we'll get a little bit more gold for that from them. And now we'll go ahead and talk to Jadwiga here too, and we'll make a deal, and we'll get open borders with her and make her pay us a bit for them. And you want to do that just if you're looking to be peaceful, which we are at the moment because we have our production penalty the way we do. We want to stay on their good terms, and having open borders helps improve your relations with them, so it's always good to go after if you can. Alright, so we can get our scout here in one turn, because we are going red team go. We're going ham on this fucking barbarian camp here, and yeah, we got 2 turns to do it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do it right now. We'll smash him this turn.
Canal is the most complex intertropical alluvial plain.
Nice, I think. Yeah, well, we did do it because we'll be able to take the camp here next turn. Do we want to send an envoy? No, we're not really worried about an envoy at the moment. We're gonna go ahead and skip turns.
It is equally important.
And here we go. So now we've successfully managed to get ourselves a golden era. So that's what I call fucking calling it a bit close here. We had 1 turn to go and we just secured our golden age. But as you can see, with a little bit of work, it is possible. And, you know, I think, especially as the Mali, going that double scout opener is really important in order to allow yourself the possibility of getting a golden age in the classical era. Because as you can see, like, we went double scout here, and we're actually pretty decently lucky in finding different goody huts and whatnot, and we still barely scraped by into getting a golden age. So I think it's almost mandatory in the current state the game's in to go double scout if you want to get a golden age. I mean, don't quote me and get your panties in a bunch in the comment section or anything like that. I'm sure it is possible to get it without going double scout. It's just a lot more probable to do it that way. So we're gonna go ahead and put our scout back on auto explore here. Meanwhile, we have another governor title, so Amani, we're done with her for the meantime. I think we're going to go ahead and pick up Pangala next. Realistically, for my thinking anyways, I think the Mali are more suited to a culture or science victory. I mean, you can go domination, but it has to be kind of mid or late game domination, and either way, picking up Pangala early will help you increase your culture or science to make that possible if you do want to go with domination later. Now, the other governor that I would consider taking at this time would be Reina, just because getting up to the Harbor Master promotion where you get it doubles the adjacency from the commercial hub in that whatever city she's in. Not to mention getting up to the point where you can purchase districts with gold is also nice with the Mali. Oh yeah, we might as well, I got distracted there, might as well actually place Pangala. So you obviously want to place him in our highest population city, which actually we could put him, who's gonna, I guess Nyani's set to grow sooner, right? Yeah, the fastest. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and put him in the capital. They should be at 4 population next turn, but we might actually shift him down to Gen once we get our campus online there. Actually, come to think of it, that will be a better idea. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and reassign him now, because like his promotion here, he has librarian. You get a 15% increase in science and culture generated by the city, while Gen is going to be generating a lot more science than the capital once they get this +4 adjacency campus up online. So that's why we'll save him there, just to save on missing out that 5 turns it takes when you send a governor from city to city. We might as well just place him here now to save us those 5 turns of not having a governor installed later on. Alright, so now Oh, looks like we can actually grab this. We can actually grab that goody hut, but we're going to cancel that right away. We've secured our golden age, and there's nobody around that's going to snipe it on us, so we're going to wait till next turn. Otherwise, it would just be wasting the arrow score. Or wait, now I'm thinking about it, it doesn't matter because you don't get arrow score after your ancient era. So we could actually go across and get this now. But I just want to double check that you don't get the arrow score in the classical age. I know in the medieval age and onwards you do not get arrow score for goody huts. So we're going to do a little test here, but I'm 99.9% positive that we're going to get no arrow score for that next time. So we could go ahead and get that now. I was just trying to save arrow score, but it wouldn't really work. We can go ahead and give this archer a promotion there and get them up to full health. Now, in the meantime, I want to start sending these archers down towards the borders that are closer to Poland and the Nubians there. It's always good to have your military presence as close as you can so that you can be ready if they decide to sneak attack you early on, which they are prone to do quite often. So we did get our golden age. Now let's see here. So 26, like I said, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get any arrow score for that, and we didn't. So that just goes to show you want to get all the goody huts you can in the ancient era for the arrow score, because that's the only era that it actually works in. So it's another reason that going that double scout opening really helps out. So we can make a dedication here. So now I'm going to go over the different choices, but I'll give you give you the spoiler alert here. We're taking monumentality, but I will discuss them and the reasons why or why not I would suggest you pick them. So with free inquiry here, Eureka's providing an additional 10% of technology costs. Commercial hub and harbor districts gold adjacency bonuses provide science as well. So that actually is a very good thing, because I mean, we're going to be getting quite a few Eurekas in the early game because they are a lot easier to get at this point. However, we don't have any commercial hubs set up, and we are headed towards there right now. Actually, we're going towards getting our Sagubas going, but by the time we do get them all set up, and especially with our production penalties, that we're not really going to get a lot of bonus out of that. We're not going to get a lot of that bonus science, because we're going to get it so late in the age that we won't have a long time to enjoy the benefit of it. Now, pen, brush, and voice is a better choice for this early golden age than free inquiry, in my opinion, for that reason that I just talked about, because you don't get to enjoy it until the later half of the age because of the choices we made. Now, if you had beelined it to your commercial hub, maybe this would be a reasonable choice to pick, especially if you didn't have a lot of faith generation like we do. But anywho, pen, brush, and the voice here is a little bit better because you get the 10% boost to Civic, which is nice, but then each city receives +1 culture for each specialty district. I mean, you basically have one district set up in every one of your cities at least, so it's going to add up pretty quickly, especially considering we're at +5.9 right now. So if we were to click this, essentially we'd be getting 50% of our culture increase. But now for us, monumentality is by leaps and bounds ahead of any of the other choices. It's going to increase the movement for all of our builders, which is great by itself, but it allows us to purchase civilian units with faith, which means we can buy our traders, we can buy our traders, builders, and settlers with faith, which is great because they're nice and cheap, and we have a good faith production because of our cracked out holy sites that they get all the bonus faith from the desert. So this is definitely the way to go, especially it also says builders and settlers are 30% cheaper to purchase with faith and gold, so that's a bonus as well. Now the final choice here, Exodus of the Evangelist. We are going for a religion, and with any luck we will get one, and I'm pretty sure we still would get one in this game. However, it's going to take us a while to be able to get our faith game really set up and really down to the point where we're able to spam missionaries and spam apostles out. So I think you're much better off, even if you do get a religion, to save Exodus of the Evangelists until you're headed into the medieval era, because by that time you will have your faith game set up more, and it's a lot easier to spam out those. Sorry, it's a lot easier to spam out the apostles and missionaries like I talked about, so it's a lot easier to rack up the era score on here. Now, because it is the Golden Age version, you do get +4 great profit points per turn, which would basically guarantee us a great profit at this point. But again, I'm less concerned about that, because when we last looked, the other civilizations hadn't even started in on that. So unfortunately, that has changed clearly. So Poland's got theirs, and it looks like this person here is going to get it before us. However, as long as this unmet player isn't, or that one, as long as one of those two unmet players isn't the Arabians who get the automatic last religion, we're still going to be fine. And realistically, if we end up not getting a religion, I'm not that worried. A little bit disappointed because we invested in this, but realistically, getting these holy sites up in our first few cities here is good for us anyways, because we can use that faith income regardless of whether we get the religion to, like I was just talking about, buy builders and settlers and traders. But then also, as the game goes on, because we're the Mali, we can also buy our commercial hub district buildings with faith. So even if you don't manage to secure yourself a religion, you're not fucked if you go this way with the Mali, just because the way their civilization is built. So with that, all that yakking out of the way, we are going to go ahead and grab Monumentality here, which is as good as time as any to head to our capital city. And now we're going to go ahead and purchase another settler. Okay, so it looks like we have enough faith that we can get 2 settlers, so I'm going to take a quick look around here and find see if I can find some decent locations for our next cities. Alright, so after taking a quick look around here, I had been considering on headed down towards this area, because there are some nice tiles in here to get a good city going, but then I noticed that the Arabians, sorry, I'm still thinking about that freaking great prophet. The Nubians here have a settler, so they're obviously headed up this way to go ahead and plop a city in here somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and let them do that and not contest them. Instead, we're going to head back towards this way. There are quite a few different production tiles, plus we can secure another horse here and get that up online, as well as another copy of cotton there, and that way we can sort of avoid a war with Nubia for as long as possible. Now, to be completely honest, if I were going to be playing this game out, I would actually plan to go attack Nubia fairly shortly, just because we are playing with the Mali and we do have that production penalty. I would do it this way first. I would kind of try to prolong our conflict as much as I could so that I can get our infrastructure up first, and then basically just beat the living crap out of them. And I would definitely be headed down towards to go conquer them fairly shortly. Most likely a medieval era. I would probably do it to time out fairly nicely with unlocking our unique unit, that special cavalry there, even though it is basically just the same thing as a knight. That gives you a tiny little bit of extra gold. That's the route I would take. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and buy our settler here in the capital, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to buy a settler here as well. Okay, so again, we already talked about it. We are going to head down south with our archers so that they're in better position in case either of the AIs decide to get a little bit aggressive with us. Now, as far as headed over to settle, we'll head over to that one with this settler, and this one will make the journey this way. Now, the one thing that I did notice is we did miss out on a goodie hut over here as well, so we'll go ahead and... I don't know why the fuck he's going all that far right now. No, just... the pathing in this game is frustrating sometimes. Alright, so I guess this warrior can't move, so we'll just wait until next turn. Now, we'll go ahead and turn... We're going to go ahead and just sit here and wait. If we're lucky, we might be able to snipe that barbarian camp there. And then, regardless of whether we are or not, we'll put this scout back on automated exploration soon enough. Okay, so speaking of scouts, we'll go ahead here and start moving the warrior back towards the front. And now, hopefully the pathing is fixed, and it is. There you go. Okay, so she's not happy because we don't have a bunch of districts and productivity set up. That's one of her things. We did just finish more holy site prayers. Let's take a look here. Oops, not religion. So we're 41 out of 60. Let's take a look. Are they all gone? Ah. Oh no, they're not all gone. I just saw 4, but it's the scientist that newbie got. Okay, so there you go. Then that means that we are fairly safe, I believe. We're 41 out of 60. I'm pretty sure that we'll hit it before they do, so we should be able to nab the 4th religion. It looks like the Arabians aren't in the game. We do want to basically try and guarantee that, though, so we'll do another holy site prayer. That should be the last one, and we'll finally be able to move on from that. In one more turn, we'll have another holy site, which will give us another great profit point per turn as well, so that should be nice. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel. Again, we're going to just sit here and let them attack into the barbarian camp again. And meanwhile, this warrior can just head towards the front lines there. Okay, so we got writing, which is nice. We'll be able to get that campus going pretty soon. Now, there are only a couple turns left here before we're going to be done this tutorial. So I do just want to take a quick second to say, if you've been enjoying it so far, do me a favor and throw a like on the video. It helps a lot to... It helps small channels like me get discovered a lot, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd take a second and do that. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to be lucky enough to get the snipe off here with their second warrior coming in. I think they might be able to double attack it in one turn, but we'll have to see. It doesn't hurt to try, I guess, right? So it looks like we did finish our holy site here in Gen, which is fine for now. I think we definitely want to start working on a builder. We want to get some of these tiles improved as quickly as we can. Alright, so they did attack again. However, I don't think our scout is strong enough to kill them, but this is basically going to be our only chance to do so, because even attacking across the river, I'm sure they're going to kill them. So we'll give it one shot here, but I don't think it's going to work. However, it did manage to get us the promotion as the scout, so that is better than a kick in the nuts, I guess. Alright, so... Oh, where did they go move the settler? Oh, Shat. I'm sorry, I always chuckle when I see that name. It looks like we might actually be able to place another city in... Oh, no, never mind. Because of Banderbernai. Never mind. So, definitely, the city placing skills of the AI leaves something to be desired, as... But it is what it is, right? So I think we're just going to move down here, and we'll stay on alert for anybody that comes up. So I guess they didn't. Oh no, never mind. The turn hasn't ended yet. I was like, I guess they haven't killed off that camp yet. But our archer here, we want to head over this way just in case we need them. But I don't think they cleared it out. No, it did. All right, so I think we'll be able to get the camp here. Oh, no, we just killed ourselves. Well, there you go. I should have paid more attention. Got excited. On that stellar note, don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. So we did manage to go ahead and get that goodie hut that we had missed the first time around here with the scout. So that's nice, but we are at turn 50, so this is where we're going to leave the video for now. But hopefully it helped you learn a little bit and understand the concepts a bit more in the early game. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll do my best to help. I'm definitely no know Civ Trader 6 or the game mechanic, but I can try. But yeah, I'll shut up and get going here. So like I said, please do me a favor and leave a like on the video if you haven't yet. And other than that, I'll shut up and see you in the next video.